As we move through our 40s, 50s, and beyond, many of us begin to notice subtle changes in our thinking. We may walk into a room and forget why we're there. We struggle to recall a name we've known for years. We lose our train of thought in the middle of a conversation. It's easy to assume these are simple signs of getting older, but the truth is much more encouraging. In part two of our series on micro habits, we're looking at small changes we can make that have a big impact on our brain health. I'm Jay, and this is Somnilopod. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. I am so glad that you're taking a little bit of your time and spending it with me. I have noticed an increase in the number of downloads and areas of the world that we're getting some new listeners. So I would like to welcome all of you here to this ongoing conversation about sleep and health and getting older and what we can do to stave off all of the grossness that none of us want to have to deal with. So today we're continuing part two of our series on micro habits. And today we're going to be talking about things we can do for brain health. Now, our brains are remarkably adaptable. Even in midlife, the brain continues to form new connections, strengthen existing pathways, and respond to choices we make every day. Scientists call this neuroplasticity, the brain's lifelong ability to reorganize and adapt. While no single habit can prevent every age-related change, research consistently shows that small, repeated behaviors can support memory, attention, learning, and our overall cognitive health. The good news is that you don't have to spend hours solving crossword puzzles. You can if you want to, because sometimes crossword puzzles are fun. Or you don't have to commit to an intensive brain training program. Instead, you can begin with simple micro habits that only take minutes each day. Individually, they may seem almost too small to matter, but together they create an environment where our brain has the best opportunity to thrive. So let's get started. Number one, read just one page every day. One page doesn't sound like much, but it creates momentum. Reading challenges multiple areas of the brain simultaneously. Our visual system recognizes the words, language centers interpret the meaning. Memory recalls previous information, and your imagination creates the mental images. Regular reading has been associated with better cognitive performance throughout life because it continually exercises attention, language, and memory networks. More importantly, reading one page is achievable. Most people who commit to one page often continue reading simply because they're already started. The goal isn't necessarily to finish the book. The goal is to keep your brain engaged. Number two, learn one new thing every day. Your brain loves novelty. Whether it's a new word, a historical fact, a cooking technique, or a few phrases of another language, learning something unfamiliar forces the brain to build new neural connections. This process strengthens cognitive flexibility, the ability to adapt, solve problems, and process new information efficiently. The lesson doesn't have to be complicated. Spend 2 minutes reading an article, watching an educational video, or ask a question that you've never considered before. I do this with YouTube a lot, and maybe I spend a little too much time, but, curiosity itself becomes exercise for the brain. Number three, move your body, at least for 5 minutes. It is no secret that I really am not a fan of exercise and moving around and all that stuff, but as I get older, it just has to become a part of my daily routine. And it's one of the best things that we can do for our brain, and it's not found in a puzzle book. It's just movement. Physical activity increases blood flow to the brain, delivering oxygen and nutrients that support healthy brain cells. Exercise also stimulates the release of brain-derived neurotrophic factor, or BDNF. It's often described as a fertilizer for the brain because it supports the growth and maintenance and survival of neurons. The important point is that it doesn't have to be an hour-long workout. A brisk 5-minute walk, climb a few steps or a few flights of stairs. A short stretching routine in the morning can interrupt long periods of sitting and provide meaningful benefits when repeated consistently. Number 4, practice 1 minute of balance. Balance may seem like a fitness skill, but it's also a brain skill. Maintaining balance requires constant communication between your eyes, your inner ears, muscles, joints, spinal cord, brain, your core. Every second you're balancing on one foot, your nervous system is processing information and making tiny adjustments. Practicing balance for just 1 minute each day challenges coordination, reaction time, and body awareness, while also helping reduce fall risk as we age. So stand near a sturdy chair or a countertop to hold on to for safety, and then just balance on one foot for 30 seconds before switching sides. It's simple, but your brain is working much harder than you realize. Number 5, have one meaningful conversation. Social interaction is one of the most overlooked forms of cognitive exercise. Conversation requires listening, recalling information, interpreting facial expressions, choosing words, and responding appropriately, all in real time. Research consistently finds that people who maintain strong social connections tend to experience better cognitive health as they age. You don't need to have a large social circle. A genuine conversation with a friend, a spouse, a neighbor, or a family member can provide meaningful stimulation while also supporting emotional well-being. One of the greatest myths about brain health is that dramatic problems require dramatic solutions. In reality, our brain responds remarkably well to consistency. 1 page, 1 minute, 1 conversation, 1 walk, 1 new idea. These actions may seem insignificant today, but repeated hundreds of times over months and years, they become powerful investments in your future. As Gen X, we're entering a stage of life where protecting our cognitive health is just as important as protecting our hearts or our muscles or our sleep. The encouraging news is that we don't have to overhaul our lives overnight. We simply have to start small, because when it comes to brain health, the habits that seem too small to matter are often the ones we can sustain long enough to make the biggest difference. And remember, healthy aging isn't about giant leaps. It's built one small habit at a time. I gotta be honest with you, a lot of these things that I'm working on as far as micro habits are concerned, of the suggestions that I've talked to you about today, I really think that one of the most important ones is the meaningful conversation. And maybe it's because I'm just getting older, or maybe I'm just an old softy, but I'm finding it much more rewarding to be able to reconnect with people from high school and from college and from my first work environments and things like that. To be able to reconnect those people and to have those meaningful conversations. I feel like it not only helps my memory, but it also helps to create that communication and that connection with the world around me. So that's the one that I really find most interesting. Also, the one I find most difficult is the balance, because I just keep wanting to fall over. So I'm going to have to work on that one myself. If you have any specific micro habits that you're trying as far as brain health are concerned, or is concerned, please let me know. You can touch base with me at j@somnillaPod.com or reach out to me through the socials. You can also reach me through YouTube, so check out some of that content there. So until we meet again, please remember to make sleep a priority. Thanks so much.